Hello, fellow drinkers at the Jolly Heretic, resident poet here, and hello again to those of us joining from History Debunked. Now, as always, I'll start off with a quick roundup of Ed's Quick Pints series. The first video I saw was where Ed made a video about an article that he saw on the IFL Science website, IFL standing for I effing love, about the decline in American IQ. Ah yes, those who effing love science. They have a strong yen for compliance. More often than not, they're with the woke lot. They make an unholy alliance. And then shortly after that, Ed made a video on how IQ is indeed declining, but not for the reasons that a lot of commenters think. Some folk have mentioned migration as a reason for IQ stagnation. This isn't the case. Decline grows apace, despite more and more education. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Also in this video, he mentioned the film Idiocracy, which is set about 500 years in the future, where intelligence, as we might have expected, has declined greatly. But Ed and also myself believe that 500 years is probably too short a timescale for the IQ decline that is portrayed. Idiocracy, it's futuristic and essentially too optimistic. Our IQ decline is far from benign. I hate to sound too fatalistic, but unfortunately fatalistic is what we must be. And I'm sure some of you, or indeed all of you, caught last night's stream where Ed talked to us about whether the saviour of humanity might be artificial intelligence or indeed genetic engineering. And he illustrated that on the thumbnail with pictures from the British children's TV series Button Moon and Thunderbirds. Is humanity's saviour AI? I'm sure we can give it a try. Some folk are pleading for selective breeding. Let's hope it's not pie in the sky. A scene from the great Button Moon means that we'll hear Dutton soon. His intelligent words complement Thunderbirds. The heretic's always a boon. So a nice trip down memory lane there for those of us of a certain age looking at children's TV programmes from years gone by. And now we turn to History Debunked with our great friend Simon. And one of the videos I saw this week where he was giving us the lowdown on the latest interpretation from the BBC of the Dickens classic Great Expectations. And surprise, surprise, it was brilliantly updated to be more inclusive and relevant. This version of Great Expectations, the worst of such interpretations, it's painfully woke. Perhaps as a joke, it should be called Great Reparations. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Now it's time for today's funny story. So there was this foreman and he needed a few jobs doing. So he hires an Englishman, an Irishman and a Chinese man. So they're there in the building site and the foreman goes up to the Englishman and says, "Right, I understand you're a bricklayer. I want a brick wall built. I want it to be 3 foot high, 20 foot long, over there in the corner of the site. Do you reckon you can do that?" And the Englishman says, "Yeah, that'll be fine. No problem at all, mate." And then the foreman moves over to the Irishman and says, "Look, Paddy, I understand you're a painter. You see that fence in the other corner of the site? I want you to paint that white. You reckon you can do that?" And the Irishman says, "That'll be grand, sir. No problem at all." And then the foreman moves over to the Chinese man and says, "You've got the most important job. You're in charge of supplies. Do you understand?" And the Chinese man goes. So the foreman, pretty pleased with this, goes off. And then about 3 hours later, he comes back and he sees that none of the jobs have been done. So he goes up to the Englishman and says, "Look, where's that brick wall I asked you to build?" And the Englishman says, "Well, you said you put that Chinaman in charge of supplies. We haven't seen him all morning, so there's no bricks. I couldn't build the wall." And then the foreman goes over to the Irishman and says, "Paddy, why haven't you painted that fence?" And the Irishman says, "Well, like the man said, we haven't seen the Chinese fella. So there's no paint like, I couldn't do it." And the foreman's really annoyed by this, so he walks over to the tool shed. But before he can get there, the door springs open. Out leaps the Chinese man saying, "Supplies!" So that was today's funny story. So that was just a roundup from me today of the Jolly Heretics output and that of History Debunked. If you did enjoy it, please do like and subscribe. And thank you very much for watching, and hopefully we'll see each other very soon. Goodbye.